Go to overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk/online therapy to get 20% off your first month of cognitive behavioural therapy, with weekly sessions online with a therapist, in addition to worksheets, a journal, meditation and yoga videos, and unlimited messaging. There's strong evidence that CBT can help people who hoard, and accessing therapy online can be affordable and accessible. Find out more and get your discount at overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk/online therapy.
Normally, being a little extra might be a bit much, but not when it comes to healthcare. That's why United Healthcare's Health Protector Guard fixed indemnity insurance plans, underwritten by Golden Rule Insurance Company, supplement your primary plan so you manage out-of-pocket costs. Learn more at uh1.com.
Think of all the sleep hacks you've ever heard. You could spend years trying them all, or you could instantly transform your sleep with Bowl & Branch. They make the softest, most breathable bedding you'll ever feel. And it's all 20% off. That's their best sale of the entire season. Millions of sleepers love their buttery soft sheets, airy blankets, cloud-like duvets, and so much more. And you can try all of them for 20% off with promo code BUTTERY20. So hurry to bowlandbranch.com today. That's BOLL and branch.com. See site for details.
Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/spoken today.
Welcome to the Overcome Compulsive Hoarding with That Hoarder podcast. I am drowning in stuff and trying to find a way out. Listen as I explore the issues and delve deep as somebody profoundly affected by hoarding disorder. Find out more, including links to subscribe to the podcast, at overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk, and follow me on Twitter at That Hoarder, and on Facebook at facebook.com/That Hoarder. Okay, so I'm going to start with the second in an occasional series where I share my success of the week and my weird dilemma of the week. The success of the week is a way to motivate me. It gives me something to focus on, and it allows me to reflect on my achievements, which isn't something I naturally do. The weird dilemma of the week is to give people an insight into a hoarder's thought processes and how messed up our logic is when it comes to this kind of thing. So, my success of the week was I got 21 bags of rubbish out of the house in one day. These have been building up for a couple of days. I had had some good, powerful sessions where I felt quite free to get rid of a lot of rubbish. And then even once I filled a rubbish bag, I can have trouble getting it out of the house. So they can build up in the hallway. But then I got 21 of them out in one go, and it felt great. My weird dilemma of the week: when sorting out a pile of stuff, I found some CDs, and these were the kind of CDs you could buy blank to burn your own stuff on them. And I hadn't labelled the majority of them, so I don't know what's on them. So I'm wary of throwing them away because I don't know what's on them, and it might be something really valuable to me. However, it has been several years since I've had a CD player of any kind. My computer doesn't take CDs, as most modern ones don't, and I don't have a CD player. So I'm a bit stuck in being tasked essentially with throwing away something unknown. I don't know if the contents is valuable. I don't know if it's interesting. I don't know if it's just nonsense. I can't prove it either way. And so it sets a lot of my triggers up in one go. I'm normally very, very careful about what I throw out. It's part of the disorder. I'm very careful that nothing goes out that shouldn't. And in this case, I have no idea. And that makes me very anxious. Equally, the logic part of my head says, well, first of all, whatever it is, you haven't needed it for several years at least. And you haven't missed it in that time because you don't even know what it is. It's not like I found these CDs and went, this is what I've been looking for. I wasn't expecting to find them and I have no memory of them at all. So the logic bit of my head says just throw them out. They're no use to you. Whatever is on them, you don't miss. And you have no way of accessing them anyway. The hoarder bit of my head says it's dangerous, it's dangerous, it's dangerous. Keep them just in case. You've got to keep them. And as yet, I haven't made a final decision about them. They are still in a pile. I still don't know what to do with them. So that is my weird dilemma of the week. And that relates to my main subject this week. I'm going to talk about another of the things that commonly hold hoarders back when they are considering getting rid of something. And that is the question, what if I need it? I can't throw away these scissors, what if I need them? I can't throw away this notebook, what if I need it? I can't throw away this out-of-date food, what if I need it? And I think hoarders often see value in things that other people don't. And so it can be even more difficult for someone who isn't a hoarder to witness that dilemma about something that they consider to be obviously not something that's needed. But we feel it strongly. This thing has potential. It could have a role. It could be important. And some of us, certainly me, that comes out of having lived for a time when you couldn't get what you needed and you didn't have what you needed. I had a time of very low income where if I threw something out and then needed it, I just wouldn't be able to replace it. And even though I'm not in that situation now, that sense sticks around. But the thing to remember, the thing I try and remember, well, there are a few things. The first is that most things can be replaced. If you throw away the scissors, you can buy scissors in the pound shop. It doesn't have to be a big outlay to replace them. Some things obviously cost more. You might want to give those things more thought. But a lot of the things we're having dilemmas about, those ancient envelopes that aren't even sticky anymore, it's easy enough to replace them and it's affordable to replace them. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Most things can be replaced. Secondly, there are plenty of things that I have kept in case I needed them. But when I did need them, I couldn't find them because the hoard is so overwhelming. So keeping it was pointless because when I did need it, it wasn't available to me. It was somewhere in a pile. It's counterproductive. You know, when you've got fewer things, you can actually find the things you genuinely need. If somebody lives in a house that isn't hoarded, they know where their scissors are. They know where their notebook is. They know where the wooden spoon is. They don't need 8 wooden spoons just in case. And another aspect to consider is that you've probably already rebought at least several items because you couldn't find them. You know you own one, but you can't find it, so you buy it again anyway. That helps nobody. You're still having to rebuy it, and you've got double the clutter. So yeah, what if you need it? Could you find it? Could you replace it? Are you in a position to replace whatever it is you're having a dilemma about? Some things aren't replaceable. Some things are nostalgic or historical or unusual and can't be replaced. But a lot of things can. And especially these days, you can just look on eBay and find all sorts of crap that 20 years ago you wouldn't have been able to replace, and now you can. That obscure issue of a magazine, or that plush toy, or whatever it is you're agonizing over. Sometimes it can be worth going on eBay just to see if something's available. Generally, if you're trying to make that decision. However, do take care that you don't turn that trip to eBay into an opportunity to buy more. So when you're saying to yourself, oh, I should keep that in case I need it, ask yourself, number one, is it easy to replace? Number two, is it affordable to replace? Number three, realistically, would I be able to find it in 6 months' time when I did need it? And number four, have you ever or are you considering rebuying something that you do definitely own because you can't find it? When you ask yourself these questions, then what if I need it is put in context. Maybe you could borrow one. There are apps where you can connect with your neighbours and lend each other stuff, whether that's a drill or a lawnmower or a tin opener. Look for things like that where you don't have to own something, especially something you don't use very often. There are alternatives, and it's time to look for those alternatives. And when you say, what if I need it? Just be honest with yourself. There's a good chance you can throw away or donate or sell whatever it is you're asking yourself that question about.
A lot can happen in 3 years, like a chatbot may be your new best friend. But what won't change? Needing health insurance. United Healthcare Tri-Term Medical Plans, underwritten by Golden Rule Insurance Company, offer flexible, budget-friendly coverage that lasts nearly 3 years in some states. Learn more at uh1.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Craig Robinson, co-host of the Ways to Win podcast, alongside my good friend John Calipari. I've been on the go recently. Phoenix, Kansas City, Chicago. If you're like me and have a home but aren't always at home, you have an Airbnb. Hosting your home or a spare room is a very practical side hustle. If you live in a big game town, you can Airbnb your place for fans to stay in. Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host.
In just 1 second, I'll give you my top tip of the week. In the meantime, please do subscribe to the podcast, review it, 5 stars would be amazing, and share it with your friends or anyone who might be interested or who might benefit from it. It all really helps. To find out more ways to support the website, the podcast, and my overall dehoarding project, go to overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk/support. Now, back to your top tip. For my top tip of the week, ask yourself questions and work out where you're most susceptible to buying stuff you don't need. Know which shops it is that you come home with clutter when you visit them. And then avoid those places entirely, completely. Don't go in there. It's a temptation you know you can't resist. Now for me, it's bargains. Charity shops, discount stores, that kind of thing. I cannot resist the stuff in them, whether I need it or not. If it feels like a really good bargain, I feel almost obliged to buy it. But if I stay away from charity shops and discount stores, I save myself a lot of unnecessary purchases. I'm not having to make those decisions, should I get this or should I not? I'm just not putting myself in the position where I'm tempted, just like an alcoholic shouldn't go to a wine shop, just like a drug addict shouldn't go and socialise with their dealer. If I can stay out of charity shops and bargain shops, I'm in a much better position to not come home with stuff I don't need in the first place. Okay, thanks for listening. I will speak to you next week. Thank you for listening to the Overcome Compulsive Hoarding podcast. You can find more online at overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk. You can find me on Twitter at @thathoarder and on Facebook at Overcome Compulsive Hoarding with That Hoarder. To find out more about how you can support this podcast and the overall project, go to overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk/support, and do subscribe to this podcast so you make sure you don't miss any future episodes.